It's Monday all over again. It is 12:04. And the reason why it's 12:04 and I haven't started my exercises is because my new NCO decided it was a good idea to keep us at work to like 11:50 just to tell us we have to do something. Like, you could have told me after, or you could have like, what are you doing? And like half the morning he spent talking to somebody about like, here's what's wrong, what that gotta do with me? I gotta eat. Like, come on, man. But yeah, I'm gonna start the workout. I don't have a lot of time, but can you stop that? Anyways, by the way, we had a run this morning. It was kind of bad, I'm not gonna lie. So here's what happened. So somebody kept the pace because we have to run in formation. Somebody kept a really fast pace, and I'm running. I'm like, yo, this is going fast. And the whole time they were running, and they just kept accelerating. And then when it was time to turn around to get back to where we started running from, everyone fell out. So what's the point of you keeping such a fast pace if you're gonna do that? Anyways, we ran a little too fast for my back's liking. It's not too bad. I say I feel like a 6, a low 6. It's 12:42. We're gonna see how fast I can change so I don't get my ass in trouble.
That's Freddy's.
Baby, please believe in when I tell you that I need a girl. So come on, pretty lady, won't you holler back? I need a girl, I'ma tell you what I need. I need a girl that's gonna be my baby. So if you love me, say I'm your baby. So fine, I go, that's my baby. So if you need me, say you're my baby. Time is 11:33, and in about 25 minutes I'm gonna have a lab review with my health coach. So I'm gonna get all that prepped. It's a Zoom meeting, so I gotta set up my laptop. I don't know if I have to download Zoom.
Hey, William, can you hear me okay? Testing.
Yeah, I can hear you.
There's a couple significant changes that we're trying to make. Infrequent oxandrolone dosing. You know, obviously it didn't affect your testosterone level in a negative way, but we didn't really see a ton of improvement in your free testosterone, did we?
Yeah.
How are you overall feeling?
I feel okay.
Did you have any symptom relief? Well, when I say symptom relief, I kind of mean, did you feel any better subjectively the day of taking that oxandrolone or the following days?
I stopped taking it after a couple doses, but I did change my routine. And I expected my lab work to be a lot worse because I haven't been buying supplements in a while.
Yeah, that's all right. So let's talk a little bit about, you said you stopped taking it after a few doses. Were you worried about something? Was there something did it make you not feel good? Can you explain?
I didn't have like a huge concern with if that helps with like testosterone. But
well, symptomatically, we wanted it to improve your overall energy, motivation, a few other things, because your SHBG is so high. Typically, that can lead to some of the low energy symptoms. Considering that you're on finasteride and that the risk of hair loss was generally low, it was meant to essentially do what boron does, except in a stronger form. With boron, it reduces SHBG expression in the liver and allows for your free testosterone to increase. It's kind of the same thing with tadalafil. When we use tadalafil, we're looking for an improvement in free testosterone. And also, there's some nice side effects with that. Blood flow enhancement, density of receptors gets a little better on the muscle tissue.
Yeah, I like the tadalafil.
Yeah. So it was more just you didn't understand why we were adding that into the program, right? Is that it?
Yeah.
We can revisit it, but we don't have to do it. So how else have things been? Have there been any changes you said you made some changes?
I've had a back injury for a while, so I couldn't do like what I traditionally do. So it's For rehab, I've been going on like long brisk walks and doing back rehabilitation exercises like the McGill Big Three
Yeah.
and things like that. So that's my workout routine. Now the most I'll do like strength wise is pull ups, like 1 rep maxes.
Okay, no worries. With those walks, sometimes having trained a lot of athletes, a slight incline to your walks really does seem to help the back recover. So if you go for about a 3% incline and you actually turn the speed down, any changes to your diet?
I started cooking more on my own, and I don't
Okay.
really eat breakfast, but so my first meal is usually lunch. Every now and then I would have like I'm really bad at not having sweets.
Okay. Well, definitely, and we kind of see that because right now we're not in a great place with the blood sugars. Right now we're what's called pre-diabetic. So that means if you go a little bit longer, you're going to be full-on diabetic, and we don't want that. We want you far away from that. You're a young dude. You're 27. This is a family history that probably has got you predisposed to things like this. Make an effort to cut out at least 25% of the sweets and carbs. We should probably retest this pretty frequently to make sure it's moving. Every 90 days, this HbA1c marker has a full overhaul. I would say if you're not already thinking about adding in like some of that walking after meals, if you're that especially would be great. The secondary thing about the diet change is we have your LDL really high now. So it must have been an increase in saturated fats. So we just want leaner cuts of meat, having oils, nuts, seeds, not seed oils, but like healthy whole seeds as your forms of fat. Avocado, salmon, things like that are going to be a lot better sources of fat than, for example, like ground beef. But at least right now, being so young, I don't want to recommend medications or anything, but if you were 40, you would be put on probably something to control that, because if it goes on for too long, you start getting blockages and calcification, and it's already started, but right now you're so young, it's not a serious issue. But we really want to minimize your situation when you're older by keeping LDL at a reasonable amount. So let's just go leaner cuts of meat, especially. Okay, if you're going to do one thing, leaner cuts of meat, and then we got to really cut out sweets, because if we keep going, we're going to end up all the way in that full diabetic status. Have you been out of vitamin D? Are you taking vitamin D at all?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, that's dropped back down. We want to get that back up. Anything else going on in your life? Any other changes? Thyroid remains steady. You're not showing any other signs of being sick. Glucose is stable. Your protein in your diet got a little bit better. That's great. Your kidney function looking good. Liver function looking great. We already talked about cholesterol, so we're going to leave that. This testosterone level went up to 900. This is great. However, the free testosterone is still kind of in a low place, and this is subjectively why you might feel tired, why motivation might be down, and just genetically you have a really high SHBG. So with a lot of people with this SHBG, dioxandrone therapy is really successful if we're able to do it for a while. But again, if you're not wanting to do that therapy, there's other options. But generally, with people who have SHBG that is this high, if they want an adequate amount of testosterone in their body and they're not willing to do oxandrolone therapy, generally it's a TRT. And so that would involve shutting down your natural production. When you have adequate amounts of testosterone, your heart health is better, your bone mineral density is better, your strength can go up, and it can control some of this blood sugar too, because it counteracts cortisol. A couple other notes: you have again low levels of inflammation. Estradiol is normal, and your free thyroid hormone is still kind of suboptimal, but it's stable. That ApoB marker just relates to cardiovascular risk. Right now, you're in the high risk category. So we would like to see that down, ideally below 70. You were pretty close at 82 last time we measured you in November. Well, we can kind of try to come up with a game plan. It's not all terrible. We want to, reverse some of this stuff pretty quickly. and I don't think it'll take too much. You must have some questions. Any questions about your labs, anything?
I was concerned about my, I believe it was cholesterol.
Yeah.
And my free testosterone. Will any of those supplements like help
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, that medication you have, oxandrolone, will help your free testosterone significantly. Twice weekly.
Is that also for cholesterol?
It will potentially improve your cholesterol values.
Okay.
But the number one thing that your cholesterol is raised by is saturated fat. For now, let's just reduce saturated fats. We're going to reduce sugars drastically, please. Okay. To pull, we don't want to be on insulin, right?
12:30. I still gotta eat. Here's the before. This morning we did PT and I felt more flexible and I felt more fast. Like I didn't second guess movements. It felt like everything felt natural. Like it almost didn't feel like I have an injury. Everything felt right. Like I'm properly using my core when I'm walking or running. Like everything just felt better. I don't know what it is, but today PT, it wasn't so difficult, but it was a little bit, where I had to be a little cautious. It's one of those situations, one of those PT sessions where it's not hard, but for a person with a back injury, yeah. I feel like I feel like a 5. 10 minutes. So I only did very small sets of the McGill Big 3, but I didn't get to do the curl up. So I'm gonna do a little bit more since I'm doing pull-ups. It's usually a good thing to do these exercises after. And I'm also gonna be doing the hip mobility thing and the band walks that y'all seen me done before. And then I'll show you the after, like always. What's so funny? Y'all are not gonna believe this shit. I just got told that I'm supposed to go to a range and it is 11:29. Apparently I'm supposed to be at the range 11:30. 240 range, nobody ever told me. They're just telling me this right now, so I gotta get all my stuff. Unfortunately, I don't have time at all to do these back exercises, so maybe if I'm not tired later today, I could do them. It is what it is. A lot of times, shit like this happens in the Army. You just gotta do what they tell you to. Even though they should have told me. They should have told me this shit a while ago. What's up, y'all? Today is Sunday, but I'm probably gonna attach this audio to Saturday just to save time. I'll post it before and after on Sunday too, but basically I just want to do a recap. So basically I missed like 2 or 3 days of back exercises. Not only that, it was because one day I went to the range and another day I just worked all the way through lunch. Looking at all these episodes, I know for a fact any day that I don't do it, it doesn't feel as good. And yesterday, Saturday, was the first day I've done it in a couple of days. Hold on, there's a car coming. There's a few cars coming. Another car, Jesus Christ. Taking a couple days off and going back to it, I noticed it actually feels like ibuprofen. So like, if y'all don't know, there's this dunker. He's a professional dunker named Isaiah Rivera. He's the one who introduced me to Stuart McGill. He's the one that made me start doing the McGill Big 3, and that's the main thing that's helped me. And he described it like ibuprofen. I was like, ibuprofen? Anyways, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace out.